I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
That's right. Fallon is still going through with that Liam thing. Blake and Crystal feel like burnt French toast. Ramy is still a guest at the hotel. Happy birthday, Culhane. And what in the name of Julia Childs is going on here? We are talking CW's Dynasty Season 3, Episode 17, She Canceled. And by we, I mean us two plus one more, making three. Maddie Pox is live in the chat. What's up, Maddie? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Wow, what an episode.
I can't complain. I'm quarantined. I'm safe. I'm sound. Bree is in the booth holding it down from behind the scenes, of course, with the entire AfterBuzz crew, who are also adhering to quarantine restrictions as they are working remotely and making this still happen. We thank each and every one of them. And we thank each and every one of you who tunes in each and every week. We know it's quarantine, but just remember we're all in this together. If you don't know me, you don't know Dynasty. My name's Tehran, and we're going to be breaking down this episode as thus. CW's Dynasty Season 3, Episode 17, She Canceled. We're going to talk about Fallon is angry and cold, Crystal getting cozy with Father Collins, or should I call him Caleb? Blake proposes to use Culhane to block Sydney's podcast. We all love Sydney, but do we? Culhane's birthday business announcement. Here's the surprise. Alexis is being helpful, but who's she really helping out? Liam and Mom lunch. Aunt Alexis? Vanessa comes clean as she gets real dirty. Ramy shows his true colors. Fallon turns a new leaf. And wait, do we all just kiss and tell now? We've got all that. Our special segment, wow, some news and gossip that you're going to want to stay tuned for. And of course, our crystal ball of predictions as we talk Dynasty. Let's talk about this episode, CW's Dynasty Season 3, Episode 17, She Canceled. Maddie, what were your overall thoughts?
Well, there was a lot of plot twists in this episode, which I love to see. Obviously, the ending was crazy, I thought, and I'm living for the drama. At first, I didn't really like Crystal and Blake fighting, but I feel like things are getting really heated, and it's pretty interesting to see it unfold. I really like Father Collins, and I really liked Alexis this episode. Like, she was kind of spicy, and now she gets her own podcast, which was cool to see. And I was really worried about Fallon and Liam for a second, but of course we see how that ends up, and they're all kind of in on it. So it's like this whole plot twist I wasn't expecting, but it was a pretty good episode. I really enjoyed it. What about you?
Well, I actually expected that plot twist, but at the end, when they showed Blake and Fallon interacting in a certain way, I was like, wait, was I wrong the whole time? And then no, Liam walks in and we realized that the twist was real. I really appreciated that plot twist. I think that it's good to see Adam, who's been this redeeming Adam, is finally possibly going to come back and be the Adam protagonist that we've been hoping for. At least I have, because he's seen what's going on between Crystal and Father Collins. We also see that whole storyline with Vanessa and Dominique being exposed to Culhane. That's finally heating up, because up to this point, that was such a bland storyline. Now I'm glad that Culhane is in on it. You also see that connection between Sanders and Culhane, because for some reason Sanders has this affinity towards Culhane, possibly because he sees a lot of himself in Culhane, the helper who's moved up in the ranks.
Yeah, like he bonds with him over the fact that they were kind of like the help at the house. He was the driver, and then obviously Anders is the butler or whatnot. I liked that. I think that we needed to see more of Anders kind of do that, because I feel like this season he hasn't really been as I don't know what the word is, not like dramatic, but he hasn't been involved in the drama really, and now he's kind of, you know, showing Culhane trying to help him. And I really like the fact that he did that, because it was super annoying to see Dom and Vanessa just kind of using him, and I just felt bad for him because he obviously likes Vanessa a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't, and I brought this up last episode, they've been underutilizing Anders for some reason, and I don't know why, but it's glad to see him slowly at least being brought back into the fold. And of course, seeing the breakup in a relationship between Sam and Kirby, a friendship that actually blossomed since Sam has been has not been as tight with Fallon as we're used to. So we'll see
Yeah.
how that one plays out. It's almost as if at first they weren't using Sam at all. Now they're using Sam in the wrong way. We'll see how that plays out. But I'm glad that Ramy's gone because his lack of loyalty actually got on my nerves. I'm sure there'll be more Ramy later, but I'm glad that he was called out on his activities because as the audience, we knew what was going on as Sam blindly displayed a lot of love and projecting himself and his change into Ramy. So seeing that play out is going to
Yeah.
be fun. And then of course, I'm
Yeah.
starting to like Liam and Fallon a lot more. I mean, I liked Fallon and Culhane, but I do think that this new side of Liam, where he can be dubious and devious too, I think it matches and plays very well with Fallon.
Yeah, he's doing this to his own mother, which is crazy. He's definitely turning into a Carrington. That's for sure. Because he doesn't mind, going against the mom and setting all this stuff up with Blake. So that'll be interesting to see how evil he can get. Hopefully he doesn't turn as evil as Adam though.
Yeah, because Liam, we saw last week, he was like, "Who do you think swiped the keys?" He was in on that too. So we
Yeah.
know Liam has the capacity. Now let's see how far he takes it. Let's break down the episode. Let's start off with um, Fallon is angry and cold. Those reviews that Fallon got as an employee, do you think they were unfounded or they were based on the truth?
I think there's a lot of truth to it because her, she's pretty like hot-headed and she's not overly nice. We know that. So if she had it coming, I mean, I feel bad for her and I like her as a character, but maybe now she'll try and be a little bit more nice so she can not get so many bad reviews because she has a company to run. Like she can't just, ruin her reputation. Well, it's already kind of ruined, but she has to worry about that. So she had it coming. So I'm not surprised that happened.
Well, I mean, obviously we've seen Fallon in action, and she's definitely a Devil Wears Prada Miranda as a boss. She's definitely not the nicest boss. We see her being extremely mean to her own assistant, even though her
Yeah.
assistant has this unadulterated um, fanfare of Fallon. So we see that kind of her just being but even though she explains it very well, I feel like on the I Love Sydney, but we see her taking it to the next level. She says on I Love Sydney that when women act a certain way and men do the same thing, they're heralded for it, and then women are chastised or placed in these labels. And I agree
Yeah, it's very
to
true.
a very large extent that is true. I think Fallon's also just very mean. So I think it's a combination of both. I mean, Fallon as a boss is she asks for her employees to do above and beyond the things that they are hired for. She's like, hey, go hide
Yeah.
this body. She's just like, there's different aspects working for Fallon. When you work for a regular company, you know exactly what's involved. I to this day don't exactly know what Fallon Unlimited does. I don't even know what they do, really. You know?
Yeah, she literally just tells people to do her dirty work. I don't think I could handle her as a boss. I don't know how that assistant deals with it. Maybe she won't last much longer though.
Exactly. And there's no way that company's profitable, the amount of money they spend on all the little things. I just don't
Yeah.
understand. But if it is, it's only because the rich keep getting richer. I like, what do they
Yeah.
actually do? What does that company do? Yes, it's a media conglomerate, but what does it do? What do they produce? What content? At least with the publishing company that she purchased, we knew they put out books, but
Yeah,
it's just
they're not very clear for like what the new company does, but maybe they'll show that more at the end, like towards the end or the season. I guess
do
we'll
you
see.
do you think Fallon deserves to get canceled for her actions?
No, but I hope she learns. It doesn't seem like she does really when it comes to stuff like this. I guess her mom put her in her place, like as we saw when the mom gets on podcast and comes on the show. So maybe as that kind of unfolds, then she'll start to kind of grow up and treat her employees and people around her nicer. So this doesn't happen to her again. So
We'll see how that plays out. I mean,
yeah,
she definitely got canceled on Twitter and the culture, and that's part of the culture, cancel culture,
yeah,
where people hear something. But at the same time, she also makes another good point where when Gigi Henry, the designer whose wedding dress Fallon wants, basically
Hmm.
is on board with canceling Fallon. Fallon states she did that without hearing my side, and that's a big injustice of cancel culture, is that we only get one side of a story, and then we jump to conclusions, and the whole concept is we shouldn't be
Hmm.
judging books by their cover. Maybe there's two sides to every story, and then the truth.
Yeah, it's cancel culture is pretty rough. People are just so cutthroat, like, and then it's right away in your face because you can see all these people like unfollowing you on social media, which shouldn't matter, but it kind of hurts if you haven't done anything wrong. So you're like, oh my gosh, everyone hates me. So yeah, I feel bad. I felt bad for her about that. Uh, Hopefully that changes.
Has that ever happened to you, Maddie Pox? Is that where you're coming from, a place of experience?
Yeah, I mean, there's, I guess, people have rumor or like say rumors, or there's something that happens and they just side with one person. And I mean, like, I've done that too, and I'm not proud of it. Like, it's just like our culture nowadays with social media and stuff like that. So,
Well, that's the interesting thing. Even with Corona, the only way to catch Corona, to spread Corona, is simply you have to be in contact with someone who actually has Corona. The only way to spread fear is just to spread gossip or a rumor, and then it goes far. So that's how you spread that cancel culture. So it's very
yeah.
interesting how they play this, and they always play things. Even something as Miss Gunnarsson coming down with the flu, this was filmed pre COVID 19. However, there were COVID
Hmm.
19 talks in the air, and I think they utilized that as the reason why Blake was cooking breakfast in the first place. Their normal cook, the maid, Miss Gunnarsson, was sick, and it basically infected everyone else in the household. Um,
Yeah, it's crazy the timing of when this came out. And yeah, like that airing right now, it's weird to think about.
it is, it's very interesting. And what was more interesting was seeing Blake in the kitchen. What did you think
Yeah.
about Blake cooking?
Oh, well, I mean, did he really cook? It was like a burnt piece of bread, and no one even ate it. So I guess that's not really him cooking. It's just him attempting to. But at least he tried.
At least he's putting in the effort. He's putting in a lot of effort. I mean, he was in the kitchen cooking himself, burnt some toast. He didn't even eat it, and then he put in effort and went out with Liam. When you watched the beginning of the episode, were you sold that Blake was going to sell out Fallon for Carrington Atlantic and try to
Yeah, I
break Fallon and Liam up?
yeah, because I don't trust Blake. I honestly was surprised when they all came together near the end and it was all like set up. I was convinced, like when they went golfing, that they were trying to break them up. And as we see at the end, I guess he has some attraction to Liam's mom. So I thought that he's totally like on her side trying to break them up.
I thought they were. I thought that because Fallon had just moved back, and I liked their bond, and I talked about that last week. Seeing them as a team is actually something very special. It's the true Carrington nature because it is Carrington first. I was under the impression that Blake would ally himself with Fallon. However,
Hmm.
what I wasn't planning on is that Blake even considered going against Liam. And it wasn't until he actually hung out with Liam that he found that he actually really liked Liam.
Yeah. Oh, Blake. I never know with him. He's just so focused on, like being right and, making money. So we'll see how that plays out too. And
Yeah.
if he decides last minute now that he has his little crush on Liam's mom, if he changes his mind.
Yeah, because that wasn't the only time we saw Blake. We saw Blake with Laura Van Kirk at the end, and the
Hmm.
charade that they were playing, of course, we'll get into. But what did you think about Laura Van Kirk and Blake? That kiss.
Okay, so when they were at the party and she kissed him on the cheek, I was like, oh, there's something there. And she always kind of talks to him really flirty. So I had a feeling they would hook up at some point, but I wasn't expecting it this episode. Like that was yeah, that was a surprise to me.
Well, they definitely flirted in this episode. You saw the little the little tension there, especially
Hmm.
because Laura Van Kirk seems to be turned on by Blake's like anytime Blake does something manipulative or evil, Laura Van Kirk's light her eyes lit up. Like she loves that. She loves
They're
that about
literally like the same person. Yeah,
her. Yeah.
Crystal's like too nice, I think. So I think, now they're fighting. And as we saw in the episodes before, like Crystal had her doubts and she's like, I want to be like a good person now and do this and that. And maybe that's why she's crushing on a priest or Father Collins.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how that plays out. So, what did you think about the charade itself? What were you sold completely? And also, I want to thank everyone at home who's been with us in the chat, in the giving comments, staying tuned. We appreciate each and every one of you. Subscribe, share, like, spread the word. If you're listening to us on iTunes, give us 5 stars that we so greatly deserve. I want to know below what you guys think. Do you like Laura Van Kirk or Crystal? Which team are you on? Team Crystal or Team Laura Van Kirk? Is this adulterous affair justified? Let us know in the comments below, and thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. So, which one are you on? Team
Yeah,
Laura
thank you
Van Kirk,
guys.
Team LVK, or Team Crystal all the way?
Ooh. You know what?
The
I'd like
fact
to
that
say
you even have to
Crystal.
think about this.
Well, okay, for the entertainment part of the show, I think I want to see what happens, obviously, with Blake and Laura, because I think that's interesting. And them together is kind of a disaster because they're just so conniving when they, put their heads together. So I want to see that like for entertainment purposes, but I'm not shipping it. I don't think it's right. I do like the Father Collins character. So, I think I'm on Crystal's side morally because she's doing the right thing. I mean, not cheating on
Crystal's
Blake is
side
right.
by hooking up with the father, with the priest?
No, well, I mean, because she's still
It's
trying to do
Easter,
like this
Maddie. It's Easter right now. Happy Easter to everybody. Happy Passover. Happy Persian New Year, whatever you're celebrating. However, it's Easter right now.
I know. I think the Father Collins is cute, and they make a cute they have a cute bond. But I'm not shipping the idea that she should have an affair. It's just a show. It's just for entertainment. I just like the drama of it.
What do you mean? Dynasty is life. Let's talk about the charade. So we see them, the seeds of doubt being planted, the concept of Culhane, Liam's mom inviting him to lunch, bribing him with his father's watch.
Hmm.
Then there's the prospect of Gigi Henry. Fallon says, no, I would never accept it from this woman. Then at the party, Fallon's talking to Culhane. Seeds of Culhane doubt were planted in Liam's mind as we thought. How did you think the charade played out? Were you sold?
I was pretty sold. It did. So when Laura was over and she offered the Gigi Henry an introduction to get the dress, I was kind of like, oh, can't Fallon just accept it? Because I didn't really get what was going on. I didn't know the plot twist that would happen. So I kind of just said to myself, oh, she's just being so stubborn. She wants Laura wants you guys to fight. Can't you just suck it up and get introduced to this Gigi Henry lady? But then now that I saw everything play out, I was like, oh, okay, so she planned it. So I was kind of like, why would you get so mad at your fiance? Like, the fight was a little bit over dramatic when the mom was over, so that was sort of threw me off. But then it all made sense, and I figured out they're all in on it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
So,
I felt like the fights were over dramatic. That's actually what gave me the clue that I think I was like, this could just not be. No one would accelerate to this point this
yeah,
fast,
and like
even
at
on
the
Dynasty.
yeah. And like when he shows up to the party and Fallon's kissing Culhane on the cheek to say happy birthday, I feel like that was pretty exaggerated. Like he could have just walked up and been like, hey, it's not like they kissed on the lips.
Yeah, it was just too fast, too soon. Liam has never been a
Yeah.
very insecure guy. Fallon has never ever displayed anything other than just being extremely loyal to Liam. And so I just didn't understand why it would play otherwise. So that's what gave me the clue that Blake had tipped them off. That seems like a very
Yeah.
Blake thing to do. What did you think about Laura Van Kirk's reasoning with the oil Moldova oil futures that she wanted to buy and didn't feel like uh, Liam would go along with it?
I feel like I feel like she's up to something else on the side, because the fact that she went through with that quickly, like the deal or whatever, and then she told Blake after, I feel like she's sneaky and there's something else she's hiding. And there's no way that she's gonna lose this battle. Like, I feel like she's hiding something, whether it's from Liam and his shares or whatever, or from Blake. So I'm interested to see how that plays out too.
Yeah, we're gonna find out that Fallon's actually Liam's sister. We're gonna find
Yeah.
out
I wouldn't be
something.
surprised, honestly.
Who knows? Who knows with the show? It's not like half these kids were Blake's anyway. So
Yeah.
we get that we get that charade playing throughout the whole show, and we see these fights coming up, and it's only unbeknownst to everyone else. But then we see the kitchen scene. We see Blake back in the kitchen, and Fallon's there, and they slide the peanut butter and the sandwich over to each other. I don't know why the
Yeah.
sliding was so important, but they look thick as thieves as they were sliding plates of things to one another in perfect harmony. And it turns out that it was
Yeah, that
all a
was
charade.
weird.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was cool. It was cool. I really liked that they did that. I thought it, but I mean, it was just, it was cool to watch, but it looked like it meant something more. I feel like it meant they were thick as thieves. They're in perfect
Yeah.
play.
There was like a lot of symbolism with food, I feel like, this episode, because we see the cheese puffs, what happens with Sam, and Rami. So then it's a zoom in of the peanut butter, and there has to be something to do with peanut butter or some sort of sign related to peanut butter in the next episode. They're trying to tell us something.
Yeah, because it does seem like food played a big part. I appreciate that insight. That was a great way to talk about it. Let's discuss Rami. So, Rami is a character. What are your thoughts on Rami?
I think he's sketchy. I mean, we see that, and he's the way he's like Venmo me money to Kirby, and he's just like rude. I don't like. I would be happy to see him kind of. Well, now he's pretty much gone with the money, but I don't really like his character, to be honest.
I don't like his character because he doesn't have to be that way. He looks very sweet and charming, and I
Yeah.
understand that's part of it. But the concept is he does come off very gruff and rough and unrefined, and he doesn't need
Hmm.
to be. This is a guy who clearly is very clever, very smart, has a lot of things going for him, and I don't like that this inherent nature of just lying and evil exists within him when there's no need. He's
Yeah,
given
and I
opportunity.
wonder where he. Yeah, he's just disrespectful and takes advantage of Sam and everyone. But I wonder where he took off to with all that money. So I guess we'll see that as well.
I mean, I wonder how much money it was in the first place because Sam did have to lie about it. He didn't want everyone to know that he'd been taken. And we saw him lie last week with the Rolex and Rami
Yeah,
stealing the Rolex from the commissioner. So
yeah,
it's one of those things where we've seen that happen before. So I wonder how it's
yeah,
going to play out for Rami's character, how he seems inherently just like this sly, slick thief, and it's unnecessary.
yeah. No, I know. I wonder if he's going to come back next episode.
Yeah, if this is the last we've seen of Rami, I would be happy, especially because they could have made him a likable character. He was actually, as a person, seemingly more likable than Vanessa, who they've stuck with, and then the Rami, who they've
Yeah,
kind of just had in and out. Rami, of course, is a projection of Sam. Sam has this
yeah,
background where he's not proud of, and since he's moved up, now he doesn't want to forget where he came from. And I think Rami was his shot at redemption. Something we've been seeing a lot of redemption going on through these characters and these last episodes as well as a lot of food. So
hmm,
I wonder where Rami
yeah,
went as well. Seeing Kirby confront Sam about the truth about the Rolex was
yeah,
deserved Kirby was basically made to apologize last episode, and then she comes to find out she was right all along.
Yeah, no, I really I feel bad for her because I feel like she has these good judgments on people and then she just kind of gets in trouble or no one believes her in the beginning, but she always seems to be right about a lot of people or like
I don't know about
situations.
that. She joined a cult, Maddie. She joined a cult and
Yeah,
was
I
thinking
mean,
about
either than that, but I feel like she has like a good heart, like deep
she does.
down. Yeah,
She
and
also stole Fallon's company. Let's remember that as well.
yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, but in general, I think overall she, she has a good heart, maybe even more so than Fallon.
I just think that we think that because she's a cutie, because we just think
Yeah,
Kirby's a cutie.
she has that look, like she's like very innocent looking.
Yeah, she's got this cutiness, this innocentness, this librarian, but that's like
Yeah.
the next step towards porn star. So I don't know. Kirby is a little bit of both. And I like Kirby as a character. She's a very likable character. I like the I told you so to Sam because Sam did dismiss Kirby in their confrontation that night at Culhane's party, where Sam's just like, well, I basically gave you this job. I'm doing you a favor. You don't need to come in. And Kirby's like, I don't
Yeah.
know if I want to be work for you and or be your friend.
Yeah, I mean that was shady on her part, I admit.
I don't think it was shady on her part. I actually think it was very disrespectful of Sam to treat
Yeah.
Kirby the way he did. Like, this is someone who's actually been there for you. So maybe you should at least take her words to heart, see where she's coming
Yeah.
from. She's not saying
Well,
this out of
hopefully
spite.
hopefully now though, now that this has happened with Ramy, then Sam will be like, oh my God, you were right. And now he'll start to feel bad and take her
Well,
advice.
he did feel bad, but I don't know if they're. I mean, clearly they're going to fix their friendship, but as of right now, Kirby says, I'll work here, but I don't know if I want to be your friend." And I don't know if Sammy can afford to lose friends because he seems extremely lonely.
Yeah, he does seem lonely. I'd love to see Steven come back, but who knows if he'll ever come back.
Yeah, people have just kind of forgotten about Steven. Like, Steven has been gone, and we don't even go, "Hey, Steven." We don't even bring up Steven anymore.
I know. He needs to come back. That would make the whole season if he showed up, maybe for the finale or something.
I know. Steven is like one of those shows where they just get rid of a character and then we just never hear from them again. Like it's
Just
become,
disappeared.
yeah, and we just don't hear. They get written out and written off.
Yeah.
So Sam's in that predicament. We'll see how that plays out. Of course, Sam did apologize to Kirby, but I wonder if their friendship will ever come back from that. What did you think of
hopefully.
Sydney? I Love Sydney's podcast.
I liked it. I liked seeing Alexis kind of have the anti-Alexis sort of spotlight moment. I think, yeah, Fallon was a bit harsh on her because she was just trying to help, but then you see Alexis so into it and kind of like, well, now I have this podcast going for me, and I don't know what if I like Alexis having her own podcast thing. Like, I feel like there's something else up her sleeve. Like, I know she likes the attention, and initially she was trying to help Fallon.
Loves
but
the
I
attention.
feel like there's something. Yeah. So I
Loves
feel
the
like there's
attention.
something else that she wants from it because she definitely didn't do that all for Fallon.
No, she kind of does selfless acts in an act of selfishness. So if it helps her and it happens to help other people, then good. If it helps her and it doesn't help other people, it's fine. If it helps her and it hurts her enemies, then the best. And if it hurts her, but it hurts her enemies even more, she's fine with that too. She definitely has the concept of the world revolves around her, and definitely a person who's like, do as I say, not as I do, because she's clearly not the role model that everyone seems her to be. And Fallon points this out.
Mm-hmm.
And she becomes Aunt Alexis.
I feel like that's not going to last for too long. Like, her true colors will come out one way or another. There's going to be someone that comes on the show or posts something about her on the internet that's going to ruin her podcast. Like, her audience will just cancel her.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, something's gonna happen. That
Hmm.
can't last forever. Um, we see people who are put in this limelight who act a certain way, but then their true colors come through and their true nature. We realize these things and we get shocked when it's just this is who they really are. Always believe people when they tell you or show you who they really are.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Also, talking about redemption, we see Adam has been a redeeming character lately. He's actually at the hospital working hard. He hasn't been up to no good lately.
Hmm.
Even when he's up to no good, it's to save people's lives and because he's forced to be up to no good, but he's trying to be a better person. Now, he's even helping with Crystal's charity. Now you see he sees Father Collins and Crystal and their kiss. Do you think he's going to use that against them?
Oh yeah, it's Adam. He definitely will. I feel like he wanted to be so close to both of them, like on purpose. Obviously, he's just trying to make his save his reputation and do something good as being the supervisor. And I think, but why is he lurking around the office, like watching them anyways? Like he's always just kind of there, seeing if he can grab dirt on someone. He's definitely going to use that against her
I don't
because,
I don't know if he was trying to grab dirt, but he was very suspicious because of the way Crystal reacted. I mean, Crystal lied to him and was
yeah,
like, Father Collins had an emergency and he doesn't need to be CC'd on any more of the emails regarding the charity. And he was suspicious. And his suspicions, by the way, were found to be true. Something was going on.
yeah,
And even though he stumbled onto beginnings of it, it was something that was, at least as feelings go, were there. So he didn't stumble into on nothing. He didn't create something wrong. It was there. He just saw
yeah.
it.
He will definitely use that against Crystal. Maybe he'll hold off for a little while, but then he'll definitely come out of the woodwork for sure. Or maybe Blake won't be as harsh on her when he finds out because he did the exact same thing with Laura.
If only that's the way relationships work.
I don't know. There must be. It is Dynasty though. There's lots of drama and hooking up and stuff like that. And him and Blake and Crystal have a weird relationship right now. So
Yeah, but it's just right now, it's in the last couple of weeks. Like, I really liked Blake being and Crystal being monogamous. Here we know Blake is, of course, infamous for his adulterous affairs, but when it came to Crystal, he seemed to be extremely monogamous. And I did not expect this of Crystal's character. I mean, Crystal was always a ride or die, extremely loyal. Blake has done above and beyond to prove his loyalty to Crystal in
yeah,
extreme criminal ways. So I don't like their infidelity to one another. I think that it's something that kind of breaks away from, even though they come off as devious characters, this dubious nature I did not see before, and I didn't like that it comes to play. Sure, I can understand Crystal simply because she feels neglected. Maybe the father represented her redemption, and so she felt like by doing this, she was finding the man that because he is supposed to be a good person that Blake is not. But I
yeah.
did not like Blake's, especially with Laura Van Kirk of all people. You have Crystal. Come on, Laura Van Kirk is a shadow of Crystal as a person, and physically and mentally, and emotionally, intelligent, everything. Like her
Yeah.
soul, everything. Just
Well,
Crystal.
maybe Blake is literally just hooking up with Laura to make her kind of blinded by the fact that he's gonna, screw her over or he's not following through with the plan. So maybe there's a plot twist next episode, and
Oh,
Crystal and Blake have talked this over. He knows about the priest or Father Collins, and she knows about Laura. I wouldn't be surprised if there was
that's
some
possible.
sort of
That
master
stands in
plan.
predictions, but to me right now, I don't think Blake is the kind of person to share. And I'm not saying Laura Van Kirk can't get it. She can get it. I wouldn't lose Crystal for Laura Van Kirk. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying. Now, I'm not
yeah.
saying Laura Van Kirk can't get it. I mean, she's a billionaire too, and she's cute. She can definitely get it. She's just no Crystal, and you already have this with Crystal. And as far as I remember, Blake doesn't exactly have the best of prenups when it comes to Crystal.
Yeah.
So to
Uh-oh.
me, yeah, to me, whenever you're married, you're like basically betting half your fortune that you're gonna stay faithful. And I'm like, whoa, that's a crapshoot
Yeah.
at best. Um,
Yeah.
let's talk about Vanessa Dominique and that mother-daughter dynamic, especially with Culhane. What did you think about that?
Uh, I'm pretty happy that Culhane finally found out that, he's being used. Because if it kept going, he's like, he really is smitten by Vanessa, and she's just like a mini Dominique at this point. So he would have been so crushed. I mean, he's already upset, but I'm really happy that he finally found out. I'd like to not see so much of them in the next upcoming episodes. I just feel like the reality show and everything's kind of like getting annoying to watch. But maybe I think now that Culhane knows, maybe he'll have some plan up his sleeve to like ruin the show, or something's gonna happen. Like, I don't imagine him going straight to Vanessa right away and Dominique saying, "Oh, I know you're playing me," or whatever. I feel like he's smarter than that, and he'll think of some other way to get his revenge.
Yeah, I wonder what is this big business announcement he wanted to make?
Yeah, I know. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, like I mean, was it a setup just to get them to talk? Because um, I'm glad
Yeah.
that Anders came and showed him that video as well. Because honestly, Vanessa to me was such a bland character. I've said this every week. As
Yeah.
much as I enjoy the actor, I also don't like the character. I really like Dominique's character, but there was just nothing going on. And at least now there's some type
Yeah.
of thrust or action, or something can at least happen. Someone can die. Something can happen now because it
Yeah.
started. It has begun the
Yeah.
downfall of Vanessa. So we'll see who Vanessa is, especially because I didn't like how they got rid of Vanessa. They got rid of Monique for Vanessa. It's almost as if they traded characters. And I was definitely way
Yeah.
more of a Monique fan. Monique and Fallon, Monique, like the rest of the family doesn't even really act like Vanessa exists because she's just such a non-entity.
Yeah, she's so random. She doesn't like hang out with anyone really except for Dominique. Like, she's just kind of a filler character, it seems.
Exactly. At least Monique was Jeff's sister. Monique was Fallon's best friend. Monique played a part. Monique is actually a Carrington, if you think
Yeah.
about it. I mean, there's just a lot that goes in, but Vanessa's just like, we don't even know who Vanessa's parents are. Like, we don't even know if Vanessa has siblings. We literally know nothing about this character. And so
Yeah.
she's just there. So it's just a interesting dynamic. So I'm glad that Culhane finally found out. Hopefully, this will be the beginning of the end of Vanessa.
Yeah.
We had the birthday party. It plays out. Ramy knows Sam better with the tacos at tapas versus champagne and sugarette or whatever. Kirby,
Charcuterie.
yeah, charcuterie, whatever. And then, of course, Fallon says she's going to turn a new leaf as a boss. Do you think that's going to happen?
Uh, I think so, maybe slightly, but even if she does, I'm sure it won't last that long. Like, she's Fallon. She's always gonna be kind of stern and everything like that. So I think a little bit, and hopefully it does last at least for another couple episodes. But we'll see.
Yeah, it definitely can't last that long. We'll see about that. I do like how they made mention of these Ethiopian spots, especially because they're in Atlanta. Atlanta has a huge Ethiopian diaspora population, so I'm glad they brought that up.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it plays out. I heard you were Team Crystal on the adultery, as in Crystal's affair was okay and Blake's was not.
I'm not saying it's okay. I kind of just like the Father Collins character, and I don't know. I just think it's entertaining. I'm not saying it's right. I like Crystal better than Laura and Blake, so that's why I'm on Team Crystal.
Well, I'm not a fan of Father Collins. I think he's shady. He's also disrespecting the clock. So we'll see how
Yeah.
that plays out. Any last tidbits you want to get into before we play our special segment?
I just think there's going to be another plot twist next episode. There's something that maybe Crystal and Blake are in on together. So I'd like to see something juicy like that happen.
Oh, we'll get into that in predictions. Let's
Yeah.
play our special segment, Wow, where we
Yeah.
pick the best outfit of the entire episode and decide how that plays out. What was your wow moment?
I liked kind of at the beginning of the episode, Kirby was wearing the 60s dress that Le Mirage was like orange, like went up to here. That was really cool. And also Kirby, I loved her green pajama set at the party. So
Yeah.
she was the winner for me for outfits of this episode.
It was a pajama party, but I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to go with Sydney's outfit. Sydney had an amazing outfit when she was on the show with Fallon, where it was a Gigi Henry inspired half cut midriff,
Yeah.
and it was very, very wow. And actually Fallon makes mention of it. Sydney, this episode being played by Alice Hunter. I like that very much, and it looked very good on her. It was like off-white eggshell
Oh
midriff.
yeah, so nice.
Yeah, and she fit it perfectly. So that was a great outfit. I'm continuously disappointed by Vanessa's outfit. Like I just hate Vanessa's outfits. I just hate Vanessa's outfits.
You just hate her character.
Maybe I don't like Vanessa's character. Whatever she does just annoys me.
Yeah.
Let's get into some news and gossip, shall we? Coming off of news and gossip, well, you're probably wondering what the Dynasty cast is up to during the quarantine. Well, Liz Gillis, who plays Fallon, jokes there is no excuse not to watch Dynasty. She says that while we're all in quarantine, she's been watching Dynasty and everyone can. And actually, if you want, you can go on her video, her Instagram, and see what she's up to as she does a spot on impersonation of Angelina Jolie. Just a couple of days ago, she does this amazing speech. She put out this video and she's been having fun during the quarantine, waiting for everyone to come back. She misses just being part of the real world, and so do we. But then again, she's a Carrington, so is that a real world or just the world she's in?
She does have a funny Instagram.
Yeah, her Instagram is very cute, so make sure to check it out. Let's talk some news and gossip, jumping into special predictions, shall we? Let's get those predictions. You have that crystal ball. Some of it plays to be news, some of it plays to be gossip, and some of it plays to be Maddie's make-believe fantasies that goes on in her head.
Okay, well, I already mentioned, I think there's going to be that big plot twist with Crystal and Father Collins and Blake and Laura. Maybe they'll all keep hooking up. Maybe it'll turn into an affair on both ends. Adam's definitely going to hold that info that he has over Crystal's head. So that maybe will play out on the next few episodes. I think Alexis, something's going to happen with the podcast, maybe not next episode, but some dirt's going to come out and maybe ruin it for her, unfortunately. And Ramy, hopefully we find out what happened with that. And if there's any symbolism related to the peanut butter jar and I don't know, the cheese puffs maybe will come back. I don't know. And yeah, hopefully Culhane gets around to his big announcement, and hopefully it wasn't, I know he said business, but hopefully it wasn't him proposing or something to Vanessa. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I hope that's not what it was. That would kill me. I'm going to piggyback off your Crystal and Blake idea. I actually really like that, and I hope that's what it is because I really like them together. And that this is all a plot to take over Carrington and Lansing. But I think Adam's going to utilize this and take advantage of this to get back in with Blake. And Blake is going to see that Adam risked this to tell him this information. And maybe it pits them against each other, but maybe it brings them back into the fold because Adam, seemingly as a redeemed character, is a better person, but a worse actor, a worse character on Dynasty. Like, I want to see more Adam being shady and being the main protagonist.
Yeah.
I really
being
like
back
that.
to evil, his evil
Exactly.
ways.
And I think that Alexis and Fallon working together is going to be the source of many woes. Hopefully that's going to be the storyline that overtakes the Dominique Vanessa storyline, and we just get rid of that storyline altogether.
Yeah, that reality show has to end.
Yeah, and of course Jeff is still dying, so I'm sure there's a lot more there. We'll find out more until next week. Until then, where can people find you if you want to be found, Maddie Pox?
I do want to be found. My Instagram is @MaddiePox, and I have a Twitter, and it's Pockadoodledoo.
Okay.
Thanks,
Well,
guys.
find me at I Am Tehran all across the board. Of course, hosting and paneling on a slew of other AfterBuzz after shows because all of your favorite TV shows are my favorite TV shows too. Find me at home because I can't go anywhere because we're under quarantine just like the rest of the world. So we appreciate everyone adhering to the restrictions of quarantine. Just know this: we're trying to flatten the curve, stay ahead of the curve by watching AfterBuzz after shows, and we will talk more Dynasty next week. Until then,
Thanks,
bye.
guys.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.